Okay, so this lesson is for week 9, lesson 2, and it should be a pretty easy one because literally all we're going to do is we're going to take 2 previous lessons that you already knew how to do, and we're going to put them together. So one of those lessons was finding zeros, and if you remember, to find zeros, you have to let the function itself equal 0. The other lesson is your factoring lesson, which we just covered last week. Last week you covered so many different methods of factoring, right? There was perfect square trinomials and difference of squares and sum of cubes and and factoring by synthetic division. So as long as you can put both of those things together, you should be set. All right, so I'm going to factor the left-hand side right here. And we're lucky, this one factors beautifully and easily. All right, and then if you remember the zero product property, which pretty much means if you're multiplying stuff together and it equals 0, then either one of the things you multiplied equals 0, or the other thing that you multiplied equals 0. And so when you solve these, you get your 2 answers. Okay, just a reminder also that the highest degree is going to tell you how many answers you should be finding. Okay, so let's try another one. Okay, so on this example, notice that the highest degree is a 3. There should be 3 zeros by the time I'm done. So I'm going to set the function equal to 0. And then I'm going to start factoring. Don't forget one of your factoring methods is GCF. All right, this piece is still factorable. It's a difference of squares. So notice I have 1, 2, 3 factors, which is going to give me 1, 2, 3 zeros. I set each of these equal to 0, and you'll get 3 answers. Okay, let's try another one. Okay, again, don't forget you have so many different factoring methods. So step 1, make sure you set it equal to 0. All right, and then this is 4 terms, and I think that grouping is going to work here. So I'm going to group the first 2 and the second 2 terms. Out of the first 2, I'm going to take out an x squared. And out of the second 2, I'm going to take out a -4. All right, as I continue to factor out an x minus 1 from both of those. And then I notice this is a difference of squares, so that keeps factoring. And again, 3 factors is going to give me 3 zeros. All right, and let's scoot this up for your last example. All right, now this one doesn't have a GCF, and even though it's 4 terms, grouping doesn't work. So this is one of those where you're going to have to try some numbers as roots or as zeros. In order to factor the rest of it. So I'm going to go ahead and try 1. 1 tends to be my go-to that I start with. Sometimes it's -1, but we'll see. So I'm going to bring down this 1. I'm going to multiply and add. I'm going to multiply and add. When I multiply and add, I get 0. So there's one of my zeros, right? X equals 1 is the first 0. This is my depressed polynomial, which is also factorable. So my 2 other zeros are +3 and -2.